Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. We have two apologies. An apology from Honorable Ryder and apology from Honorable Karim. On top of that, we have an apology from the chairperson, even though the chairperson insisted that she will join the meeting. But the chairperson won't be in a position to fully participate in the meeting because she is consulting her medical team as we speak, but she insisted on joining the meeting, even though I tried to persuade him otherwise, but she said she feels that she must be part of the meeting just in case you might need her if there is something urgent. So those are the few apologies. In terms of attendance, all other members are present in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nobala. Members, you see the agenda. The agendas be fly on the virtual platform. So I will not keep this meeting or hold this meeting back. So we're gonna start immediately on the issue of because we have received the apologies. So I will immediately go over to the consideration and adoption of the draft report on the Eskom debt relief bill B5 of 2020-2023. So is there anyone who is the people who must present the report, Nobala?
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Moss. I am going to flight the report from this side for members, but I'm going to be guided by members in terms of the approach. If the committee feels that we must take it page by page, or we follow the normal approach of going to the observations and findings and then conclusions, I will do that, but I will be guided by the meeting.
I want you, this is my observation, but members can speak, that we go page by page, so that we not leave anything out and have tomorrow disputes of the day after tomorrow disputes. Let's go page by page. And then we coming back to on the issue of observations, recommendations of anything, so that we can have to proper work towards this bill. Over to you, Nobala.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we are on page 1. Moving over to page 2.
Mm-hmm.
Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. page 9. Okay, maybe I may pause here and indicate that now these are the beginning of the findings. So I'm going to continue again. I'm going to be guided by the committee if there is any issue that the committee needs to address. The findings, finding 6.1. Finding 6.2. 6.3. Okay. May I please draw your attention, Ms. Moss, to the hand of Honorable Okam.
Yes, Honorable Okam, you can speak.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, yeah, I just want to know whether you want us to come in here or can we wait till we go through the whole document and maybe come in afterwards and discuss what we need to discuss.
I think we can come afterwards when we can come in and then we can discuss. I will allow members to be freely to discuss whatever they want to discuss on this paper.
All right, thank you. I'll wait then for afterwards.
Continue, Nobala.
Observation number 6.4. 6.5. 6.6. 6.7. 6.8. 6.9. 6.10. 6.11. 6.12. 6.13. 6.14. 6.15. 6.16. 6.17. Then these are the recommendations of the committee. 6.1. 7.1.
It's 7.1. Yeah?
Yes, 7.1. My apologies. My apologies, members. 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 7.6, 7.7, 7.8, 7.9, 7.10, 7.11, 7.12, 7.13, and point number 8 is the decision of the committee, which reads as follows. The Select Committee on Appropriations, having considered the Eskom Debt Relief Bill B5 of 2023, Section National Assembly, Section 77, referred to it and classified by the Joint Taking Mechanism as a Section 77 bill, recommends that the bill be adopted without amendments. Over to you, Honorable Moss and the members. Thank you.
There you have it. that the presentation is being done. Is there any member who want to contribute on this item? I saw earlier Mr. Okam's hand was up. So there you can now participate.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, yeah, I think there was a lot said by stakeholders as well as by members of the committee with regards to ring fencing in paragraph 6.17. You mentioned in the report what Kusatu said. Now, Kusatu has got a point. The problem that we've got with municipalities is that we all know that a lot of the money that they receive from payers of electricity in their municipalities goes towards other costs instead of going towards payment of Eskom. Now, the point that was raised by Kusatu is that those municipalities that use the money to cross-subsidize other services might have some problems in the future. The fact of the matter is that those municipalities that cross-subsidize the money that they get from ratepayers with regards to their Eskom bills should not happen. It should go towards Eskom. They should get in money from other means in order to pay or subsidize what it is supposed to do. So I think what was said by myself as well as some of the stakeholders is that, and I think that that is one of the things that this committee has to take into consideration, is that we must really look into a plan that will work where municipalities are ring fencing the money that they get in from Eskom so that we ensure that that money goes towards Eskom. There's different plans that was proposed and that was discussed, and I think it is important that this report states that we need to look at a model in which municipalities, the profit part of the electricity that they get can still maybe go to them or go towards paying off their Eskom debt, but it should not go towards paying salaries, etc. So I think this report is lacking when it comes to the plans with regards to ring fencing. The other point that I want to make is that one thing that was clear in this whole discussion that we had over the last few weeks was that the conditions that Eskom has to adhere to that must be implemented should be stated crystal clear. Sorry, yes, Chairperson? Can I continue? Lubabalo, I don't know whether it's the chairperson that's got some difficulties, but I heard that you want to say something. Can I continue?
I also have difficulties. Things just go off.
Okay. No problem. I will continue. The point that I want to make, Chairperson, the point that I want to make is the fact that we all agree to the fact that there must be clear guidelines. It must be stated unequivocally what the terms of implementing or getting this loan would be, especially when it comes to dividing Eskom in its three sectors, what that must be. And I don't see us in this report coming out clearly to state that breaking down of Eskom in those three entities is one of the critical recommendations that we want to make and one of the critical conditions that Eskom must adhere to. So yeah. That is basically from my side. There are some other points, but I don't want to go into each one of them individually. In the submission, Kusatu, as well as some of the other stakeholders, as well as members of this committee, spoke about the whole issue of combating corruption within Eskom. We all know that it is rife, and I think although we say that there must be certain stuff done against corruption, we must make it clear that the fight of corruption should also, and not only the fight, the absolute annihilation of corruption at Eskom should be at the core, and I think this report should state it very clearly. That is from my side, Chairperson. Thank you.
If I can ask you, Honorable Okam, is there on that 6.17, is there a submission that you want to do on the on that point?
Yes, Chairperson. I
so that
can.
we can it's difficult to
Sure.
to
No, no.
rephrase on submission of a organization or whatever. But we are the
Sure.
MPs who must correct things to make sure that this bill come through.
Sure. Chairperson, I would suggest that in the report, it's obviously not under 6.17, it would be under number recommendations under 7, but that there be an additional clause that says that this committee proposes ring fencing of money that municipalities gather or get in that comes from payers of their electricity bills. In other words, that so the wording we can work on, but that ring fencing of electrical bills are being done in order to ensure that Eskom gets paid for the service that they deliver. And secondly, that this committee notes that municipalities do have excess money or the profit part of that money that they get in for electricity, but that money goes towards paying off outstanding Eskom debts instead of cross-subsidizing other services that municipality gives. I know it's a mouthful, but in short, that would be the summary that I would suggest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okam. I think the pilot, I think, hope you noted what the honorable member if said, yeah.
Yes, yes. Sorry. Oh, sorry, my apologies. I was saying yes, we are noting it, and also I also want to introduce other team members that are supporting the committee, and maybe it might be easier if maybe they kind of fully participate and draw your attention if they want to raise anything or bring anything to the attention of the committee.
Yeah, okay, Bara, take note of that. Can we give in to the Honorable SF to tweet?
Honorable Chair, thank you, Chair. Now I'm covered. Honorable Okam mentioned two of the items that I wanted to highlight, but I'm covered at this stage. I will raise my opinion on the whole report at a later stage, since there are quite a few issues that I do not agree with. But that's a party political matter, and obviously at the right time I will indicate that I will not be in support of the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other member who wants to speak?
Good morning, Chairperson. This is Mr. Domo speaking here, the Cornet Advisor for the committee.
Okay.
Yes, Chair. I just want to come in on the issues that are raised by Honorable Okam. To indicate that the report in its entirety, Chair, if you read it through from page 1 to the last page, is a culmination of all the engagements of the committee from day one, from when the minister tabled the bill up until the last public hearing that the committee has. Now, the report obviously will flag on issues that were strongly raised by the committee and the majority of members, that as support or as drafters of the report, we find convergent, on those issues. Those issues will be reflected on the report, but what would not be able to reflect on the report is all issues and issues that we might not find, a common into the deliberation of the committee. So we've raised those issues that we think they are critical, but the committee still have an opportunity. That's why we are in the stage of consideration of the report, where committee members can add or subtract issues that they think they are not relevant, bring in issues that they think they need to be reflected in the report. So now when it comes to the issue of ring fencing, I think we are taking the point that Mr. Okam is raising. It's a very important point, which I think we have somehow reflected on it, on the recommendations and findings, but maybe not the way Mr. Okam would love us to. But we are noting that input. I think would have to infuse some of those input into the report. But the rest of other issues that Mr. Okam has raised are reflected in the report in various recommendations. If you go through various recommendations, you would find that there are recommendations where we deal with the issues of corruption, issues of crime at Eskom. There are recommendations where we deal with issues of the distribution side of entity, you know, as an issue that is not off the table as yet, which is what the committee had raised, that we don't see this issue coming out very clear in the terms and conditions. And National Treasury has responded to say, no, the issue of distribution is not off the table. So we've reflected on those issues in the report. Yeah, so those are the issues. We've also go as far as insisting to colleagues from National Assembly to say, share with us your note as to what is it that in the NA committee has been reflected upon, so that this committee in its report does not contradict what the NA has actually said in its report. So this is the report that is, in a sense or in a way, is a final report of Parliament in this bill, having gone through all the processes and all the stages, including the NA stage. So some of the issues that might not be reflected might probably issues that have fallen within the cracks, but not deliberately so, but because there are so many issues that we had to consider in drafting the report. And also on the other hand, at the back of our mind, we are in a situation where we have to think about the readers of the report, which is the Minister of Finance and other stakeholders, to say what is it that are the issues that will take them forward in developing policies and making sure that policy gaps as far as Eskom issues are addressed. So this is what this report in essence, Chair, is dealing with. And we make sure that every single stakeholder that reads this report, it sees itself in the report. The member, the ordinary citizen on the ground, when he or she reads this report, sees its report. The MPs, the members of Parliament, also sees themselves in the report. So it's the holistic kind of an approach that we've taken, that we always take when we write these reports. However, we take note of the input that is made by Mr. Okam. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Romo. So can we go through page by page, and then members can just say if they agree on that page or not, and then also maybe saying why he's not agreeing on that on page 1, adjustment example, page 1, page 2, so that we can move on.
Chairperson, my hand is up. Would you allow me just to comment on what Mr. Ndlomo said and on what was said in the chat group?
I don't know if we're going to go backwards, forward. But
well, that is what we are here to do, Chairperson. We are here to deliberate the report. And I would just like to come in with some comments on what was said.
No, I said I will allow you. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much. Chairperson, yeah, with regards to the issue of ring fencing, I think that was, I heard what Mr. Ndlomo said, but I think that this committee by the stakeholders and the committee, myself, for example, raised this, and there wasn't any opposition against it. We are, as far as I can recall, we were quite available to the option of ring fencing, but that we all said that there should be some sort of a formula or a way that it must be implemented so that not all the money that municipalities gain or get from ratepayers must go towards Eskom, that we know that they've got a, let's call it a profit margin on that, but there wasn't any strong opposing of that by any members of this committee, as far as I can remember. And I think it is important that this report reflects that this committee feels that ring fencing must be looked into, and a workable solution that will be to the benefit of both Eskom and the money that they must receive, as well as the municipalities and the additional money that they get, that a workable solution for that must be sought. We don't have to get that solution in this report and draft it word by word in this report, but I think that is one of the things that this committee on the broad agreed upon. and I would like to see it in there. With regards to the chat, where Mrs. Groenewald says that 7.8 speaks to the unbundling of Eskom. 7.8 speaks to the fast-tracking the finalization and corporatization of the transmission side of the entity. I think it is important that we mention as this committee the three sectors in which Eskom must be unbundled: generation, transmission, and what is the last one? The three entities, sorry, distribution. Sorry, I'm talking in a language that is not my home language. I will say verspreiding, but yeah. So that this committee shows clearly what the three entities are, which the president mentioned, that we think that the unbundling of Eskom into those three entities must be done quickly and not only speak to transmission. I understand that this might be a way of putting it down, but I think that it would be important to note all three of them. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Okam. I think I already said we're going to do page by page.
Chair,
We have a lot of time.
Chair, I would like to draw your attention to the hand of Honorable Mamarachane.
Where is his hand? I don't see his hand. I don't see
Maybe
him.
it was accidental. Okay, maybe it was accidental. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Yes, it was up. My
Oh,
hand was up, yes.
oh sorry, Miss Sweetie.
Okay.
Continue.
And good morning, Chairperson.
Good morning,
Honorable Chairperson, after the clarification made by Mr. Njomo, I think it's very much clear that maybe the Honorable Okam, what he mentioned about the fencing and what of Eskom, I think the Honorable, Mr. Njomo did clarify us on that. It does appear on the report. What I can propose is that maybe we go straight to the last part of the. Maybe we don't go page by page, but we go to the last part of the report to say, as a committee, we did agree to adopt this report. I don't know. I'm just maybe making a proposal that we go straight to that, because the report was sent to us, to all of us, to go through it. So maybe if I might, I don't know whether I might be wrong or what. I was just proposing that we go straight to the last part of the report to adopt the report. Thank you very much.
Chair, can I assist you? Can I assist the committee, Chair? Hello, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Kromo.
Yes, Chair. No, Chair. I think Member Rahana is assisting us as well. But Chair, I want to suggest that, because there are two key issues that Mr. Okam is raising. Chair, I want us to say, as the drafters of the report, we are going to fine-tune the report around those two issues. Because I don't think that Mr. Okam is necessarily disputing the entire report for us to go through back page by page. I think it's only two issues that he is raising very sharply, which I think we need to take back as the support staff and refine them. The issue of ring fencing, I think, is very strong about it. We are noting it. We are going to infuse it into the report. The issue of unbundling, transmission, and distribution, we're going to refine the existing recommendation there at 7.10. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think that will assist.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blomo. I think you're assisting us really on the way you put it, on what Mr. Okam was saying. And then also on what you're saying, it's not a transmission. We cannot add that point that he raised because it's actually on the same content what you was actually proposing. It's not issue against what is in the report. So I agree with you. Can we go in then? If you're saying you don't need for go to page by page because we already deal with it. So then we just go to the last part of the report on the issue of the committee decision on the bill.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, now that we are at this stage, the next stage now that you can do is to call for members for a mover, followed by a seconder in terms of adopting the report. Thereafter, members will raise their party political matters. Thank you, Chair. Over to you.
Mr. Bala said, can we get a mover?
Chair, Nita moves the report, Chair.
Thank you very much, Nita. Then we get a seconder.
And Honorable Mama Rukhani, second. Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much. So is there any party who want to say something?
Chairperson, there are 3 hands that are up.
Honorable Okam?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, the Democratic Alliance reserves our position on this report.
Noted. Whose hand is up? I can't see it here.
It's Moletsani and then the Tui.
Oh, Molisana come?
On behalf of EFF reserves its position on the report, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Can I get Honorable Tweet?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Freedom Front Plus reserves our position on this report. Thank you.
Is there any other party? Is there any other party?
No, Chairperson, we are done now with this part of the report, Chairperson. Thank you. The next stage now, we will move to the consideration of draft minutes, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe Chair, before you move to the draft consideration of the minute, Chair, just on our side, just to indicate to you and the honorable members that we will, before we go into publication of the report, we will share with them.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, Chair, I just want to indicate that we will share.
Hello.
Yes, Chair, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chairperson?
Chairperson, we can hear Mr. Dlomu. I think there might be something wrong on your side, but we can hear you, Mr. Dlomu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say, as a report drafters, we will share with honorable members the report with your input before it goes for publication. That was all. Thank you very much, Chair, so that we can see the amendment. Thank you so much.
Are you finished, Mr. Lomo?
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. I'm done, Chair.
Okay.
Did you hear me, Chair?
Yes, I did hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Chair. All right.
Can we go then to the next point on the agenda is the minutes?
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm going to continue assisting the committee. On the screen now is the minutes of the 24th of May. We are tabling them for consideration and adoption by the committee. Thank you, Chair. I'm going to go through them page by page as we did, like we did with the report. Thank you, Chair. We are on page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8, which is the last page. Those are the draft minutes. Chairperson, over to you. You may call for members' comments, for corrections if there are any. If not, you may call for a mover and a seconder. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Ocamp's hand as I'm handing over to you. Thank you.
It is the hand of Honorable Letoy, not Honorable Ocamp.
Yeah, Honorable De Tooit, can you come?
Thank you, Chair. I move for adoption of this this minutes. It's a true reflection. Thank you.
Can I get a seconder?
I'll
I
second,
second,
Chair.
Honorable Chairperson. I also second Mama Rakhane.
Rakhane second it. So it's been moved, the minutes of the 24th of May 2023. Can you
Thank-
get the second one? The second minutes, 31st of May?
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, members. We are on page 1 of the draft minutes of proceedings of the 31st of May 2023. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7, which is the last page. Thank you. Over to you, Chair.
Members, there's the minutes. Is that the truth reflection? And if it's so, can we get a mover?
I'll move, Chairperson, Honorable Ocamp.
The toy seconds, Chair.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The minutes be adopted. Bala, is there any other item?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, that was the last item, Chair. Now I'm going to hand over to you, Chairperson, for closure and probably indicate that next week we will be considering the draft report on the appropriation bill, Chair. The report will be sent to members any time from now because we are almost at the tail end of fine-tuning it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Nabala. Thank you very much, members. I think we come to the end of the meeting. And as the secretary already said, he's busy with we are actually nearby ready for next week. So I said thank you very much for this lovely raining day here in Saldanha. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Keep well.